Hello good people! Western Digital released for about a year now its new mainstream PCI Express 4.0 NVMe SSD, the WD Black SN770. Today I will unbox and test the 2TB model. SN770 is advertised as a gaming SSD with declared read speeds of up to 5150 MB per second. It is produced in capacities of 250 GB, 500 GB, 1 TB and 2 TB, and benefits from a 5-year warranty within the endurance limits specific to each capacity, respectively 200 TB written, 300 TB written, 600 TB written and 1200 TB written for the 2TB model. Now I will mount it for testing in both the motherboard's PCI Express 3.0 and PCI Express 4.0 slots, both of them being provided with heatsinks. In Windows, the dashboard application recognizes the drive and quickly shows that a new firmware version is available. The firmware update goes smooth and fast. The main benchmarking applications used for testing NVMe SSD drives are Crystal Disk Mark in NVMe SSD mode with free tests using the peak performance and real-world performance profiles, both with 1 GB and 8 GB files. ASSSD Benchmark determines the sequential and random read and write performance of the SSD without using the operating system cache. The testing will be performed with 1 GB and 10 GB files. 3D Mark Storage Benchmark evaluates performance by tasks such as loading a game, saving progress, installing game files and recording a gaming session in Full HD at 60 FPS, all repeated 3 times. This test manages to stress the drives enough to get a clear differentiation in terms of gaming performance. In Crystal Disk Mark, in the peak performance test with 1 GB file, SN770 occupies the second position above SN850 due to the better random speeds. However, in the peak performance test with 8 GB file, SN770 falls on the 4th position above SN750 SE due to the weaker random speeds. In the real-world performance test with 1 GB file, SN770 drive wins over all the other drives due to the better sequential speeds. Likewise, in the real-world performance test with 8 GB file. In ASSSD Benchmark, in the test with 1 GB file, the SN770 drive comes 4th with a score of 6549 points, 500 points above SN750 SE. However, in the test with 10 GB file, SN770 falls to the last position, behind SN750 SE with 450 points less. Overall, on PCI Express 3.0, SN770 2TB proved to be the hottest NVMe SSD both at idle and at the maximum temperature reached during Crystal Disk Mark testing. In Crystal Disk Mark, in the peak performance test with 1 GB file, SN770 places at the middle of the pack, above SN750 SE, with a sequential read speed of 5207 MB per second, a bit higher than the advertised speed. It maintains the middle position also in the peak performance test with 8 GB file. In the real-world performance test with 1 GB file, the SN770 places the second, winning again over the SN850 due to the faster sequential read speed. However, in the real-world performance test with 8 GB file, SN770 occupies its rightful mid position. In ASSSD Benchmark, in the test with 1 GB file, SN770 falls behind SN750 SE on the 4th position. In the test with 10 GB file, SN770 places again below SN750 SE, but on the last place this time. On PCI Express 4.0, SN770 2TB proved to be again the hottest NVMe SSD, both at idle and at the maximum temperature reached during Crystal Disk Mark testing. In the 3D Mark Storage Benchmark on PCI Express 3.0, Western Digital Black SN770 2TB gets the middle position with a score of 2941 points, below SN850 and above SN750 SE. SN770 gets the middle position also on PCI Express 4.0 test with a score of 3250 points. In the left chart, you can see the best current prices of the drives in Romania, the usable capacity in megabytes, and the endurance for each of them. In the right chart, is the resulted price for 100 MB of usable capacity. These charts can help you pick the drive with the biggest capacity and the highest endurance for the cheapest price. Now let's relate the price to the performance. For this, I will consider the SN770 1TB as having the same performance as the 2TB model, although it may perform a bit better. WD Black SN770 1TB costs 479 RON, equivalent to almost 97 euros. Considering its price and performance in the 3D Mark storage benchmark as 100%, we can see in the right chart how the SN750SC drive costs 4% less for 17% less performance. Although WD Black SN770 lacks the DRAM, it did pretty well to the tests. It not only traded blows with the SN850, but also dominated the SN750SC with its sequential speeds. Its new 4-channel SanDisk controller was paired with the latest BiCS5 112-layer 3D TLC flash that SanDisk produces in a joint venture with Kioxia. In comparison, the SN750SC uses an older DRAM-less 4-channel controller that is not able to reach its full potential due to the older BiCS4 96-layer TLC flash memory. For gamers who want the most responsive load time they can get without overspending, the WD Black SN770 has proven to be a great value option. However, when it comes to be used also in heavier read and write scenarios like photo or video editing, the Kingston Fury Renegade offers a superior value at the same capacity, given the current prices. I hope this video has been informative for you. From me, a big thank you for watching. If you found it interesting, please leave a like and subscribe for more. Until next time, spend responsibly. God help.